Ito na po ang kalagayan namin ngayong gabi. Dito po sa
November 5th, 2025, Typhoon Tino, international name Kalmaegi, has left a devastating and deadly trail across the central Philippines, triggering what local officials are calling the worst flooding in recent history and causing widespread destruction, power outages, and the displacement of hundreds of thousands of residents. The death toll continues to climb as rescue and recovery operations struggle to reach isolated areas. As of Wednesday, the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council confirmed at least 66 fatalities and 26 individuals still missing across the affected regions, with the majority of casualties reported in the province of Cebu. Local reports from the Cebu Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office indicate the death toll in Cebu province alone has surpassed 100 people, underscoring the severity of the impact on the highly urbanized island. Typhoon Tino, the 20th tropical cyclone to hit the Philippines this year, made multiple landfalls starting late Monday night and into Tuesday across the Visayas region, including southern Leyte, Cebu, Negros Occidental, Guimaras, and Iloilo, before moving towards the South China Sea. The typhoon brought maximum sustained winds of 150 kilometers per hour, 93 miles per hour, and gusts reaching 205 kilometers per hour, 127 miles per hour. But it was the intense, torrential rainfall that proved most catastrophic. In the 24 hours leading up to landfall, areas around Cebu City were deluged with 183 millimeters, 7 inches, of rain, far exceeding the typical monthly average. This volume of rain quickly overwhelmed drainage systems and river channels, leading to rapid, roof-level flash flooding in cities like Mandaue and Talisay. Videos verified by news agencies showed entire streets in Cebu transformed into raging rivers, with cars, trucks, and even large shipping containers swept along by muddy floodwaters. The scale of the disaster has prompted Cebu province and numerous local government units to declare a state of calamity. Over 700,000 people have been affected across the Visayas, southern Luzon, and northern Mindanao regions, with over 400,000 currently displaced and sheltering in evacuation centers. Eyewitness accounts describe scenes of absolute destruction. Eileen Oken, a resident of Talisay City, shared her grief with Reuters reporters. "We worked and saved for this for years. Then in an instant, it was all gone. Residents were forced to climb onto their rooftops to escape the rising waters, with the Philippine Red Cross actively involved in extensive rescue operations." Infrastructure has been crippled. Widespread power outages and communication network disruptions persist across many affected areas. Dozens of domestic flights and sea voyages were canceled, stranding thousands of passengers as ports and airports were forced to shut down. Clearing operations by the Philippine Coast Guard and other agencies are underway to restore transportation links and deliver essential relief aid. The disaster also claimed the lives of 6 military personnel whose helicopter crashed in the southern province of Agusan del Sur on the island of Mindanao while on a humanitarian mission to assist storm victims. The devastation from Typhoon Tino comes just over a month after a magnitude 6.9 earthquake struck northern Cebu, adding another layer of suffering to communities already struggling to recover. Scientists and weather specialists noted that the typhoon's rapid intensification and the sheer volume of rainfall are consistent with the effects of human-driven climate change, where warmer oceans fuel more powerful storms and a warmer atmosphere holds more moisture. Typhoon Tino has now exited the Philippine area of responsibility and is currently over the South China Sea, where it is forecast to re-intensify before making a potential second landfall on the central coast of Vietnam in the coming days. Authorities in Vietnam and China have activated emergency responses in anticipation of the storm's arrival. The Visayas group of islands experienced the most severe consequences of the typhoon, with multiple landfalls occurring across the region's various provinces. Cebu, this province was the hardest hit, accounting for the vast majority of the confirmed fatalities, at least 49 deaths reported locally. Cebu experienced what officials called the worst flooding in recent history, particularly in highly urbanized areas. Affected cities/municipalities. Widespread flooding and landslides were reported in Cebu City, Mandaue City, Talisay City, Danao, Compostela, and Borbon, where one landfall occurred. The entire province of Cebu was placed under a state of calamity. Bohol. The province reported casualties and damages, including at least one death caused by a fallen tree. Siquijor. The province was also within the affected zone of the typhoon's path. Iloilo, a major area of impact, with Iloilo City experiencing a landfall and widespread flooding. The province registered the highest number of displaced persons in the region. Guimaras. The province faced significant impacts, including a landfall in San Lorenzo. Negros Occidental. Another province where a landfall took place, Sagay City, leading to casualties and extensive flooding. Aklan, Antique, Capiz. These provinces were under tropical cyclone wind signals and experienced strong winds, heavy rain, flooding, and power interruptions. Capiz recorded at least one death. Southern Leyte. Tino made its very first landfall in Silago town, causing uprooted trees and damage to infrastructure. The province saw significant rainfall volumes, more than a month's worth in 24 hours. Leyte reported an elderly resident's death due to drowning and other damages from flooding. Eastern Samar, Northern Samar, Biliran. These provinces were among the first areas to be threatened by the approaching typhoon and experienced heavy rainfall and subsequent flooding. As the typhoon exited the central Philippines, it moved across this region, particularly affecting the island provinces. Palawan. The province experienced multiple landfalls, 3 times in Cuyo Archipelago, Batas Island, and El Nido. Northern Palawan and Puerto Princesa City were placed under a state of calamity, facing potential life-threatening storm surges of up to 3 meters. Occidental Mindoro. The western seaboards were under wind and storm surge warnings, with general heavy rain affecting the region. While the Visayas took the direct hit, surrounding regions also felt the effects, experiencing heavy rains, power outages, and displacement. Caraga region, northeastern Mindanao, experienced significant impacts, particularly the Dinagat Islands province, which was placed under a state of calamity due to widespread damage and communication line disruptions. Surigao del Norte and Agusan del Sur also reported effects, including the tragic helicopter crash that killed 6 military personnel on a relief mission. Northern Mindanao also reported affected populations and some infrastructural damage. Baikal region. Though not in the direct path of landfall, several areas in provinces like Camarines Sur and Sorsogon experienced heavy rains and flooding due to the broader weather system associated with Tino. In total, over 700,000 people were affected across these diverse provincial regions, highlighting the wide-reaching and devastating nature of Typhoon Tino. The primary destructive force in Danao City was the sheer volume of torrential rainfall that caused rivers and drainage systems to swell dramatically and overflow in mere minutes. Social media reports and eyewitness accounts on Tuesday morning depicted a city in crisis, with residents trapped by fast-rising water. Mitch Mondigo, the Danao City Public Information Officer, shared a harrowing personal account of the flooding in her neighborhood of Rotunda Cambiahan, Poblacion. In a widely circulated social media post, she reported that floodwaters had reached chest level and that her family's car was missing, swept away by the raging currents. Residents, many caught off guard by the speed of the flood, were forced to seek refuge on second floors or rooftops as their homes were inundated. The overwhelming water volume, described by Cebu Governor Pamela Bercuatro as the worst flash flood caused by a typhoon in the history of Cebu, has led to significant damage in low-lying and riverside communities within Danao. The disaster has also sparked debate regarding environmental factors exacerbating the flooding. The Kilusang Magbukid in Pilipinas noted that decades of unabated and indiscriminate quarrying activities in upland barangays might have contributed to the severe flash floods downstream in areas like Danao. The group urged that the disaster underscores the need for scrutiny of infrastructure projects and land use policies. As Danao City residents begin the grim task of cleaning up caked-in mud and salvaging what little remains of their belongings, the focus remains on recovery and the urgent need for sustained humanitarian support.